1. Ah! Gotta start it off right. Let people know. All right, let's. I never said I was sane. Let's see. Why did that not pop up? Okay.
Oh, you gotta have fun with it.
All right, put that up on my screen over here. Don't topple over. Alrighty.
I see your screen going what.
It's
like it's earthquake at any time. Hi, Kayla.
Of course, Kayla. How are you?
Kayla, you gotta let me know. Did you go home yet? I know you were here for break, but are you still here? You'll have to let me know.
I want to know how her trip was. We need to get her.
Oh, that's right. We need to find out. I don't know. She may still be in Florida for all that I know.
Kayla, when you get back, you got to come on.
Yeah, I got a couple people that are getting lined up for some cool trip report stuff. So she's still in Florida. Florida. You know what? Hey, by the way, Danny, guess what?
What?
Oh wait. Oh yeah, I'll save it for the show.
Disney Springs today.
I'll save it for the show, and then I'm going to get Kayla's reaction.
Ooh, well, I like where this is going already.
Yeah,
we're just sharing this out real quick, and then we will take control of everything. All right, I shared it out to places.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yo, Stroobs. What's up, brother? Kayla, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Scott, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Remember
we will be starting the show in literally 1 minute.
Yep. Hey, Scott, how you doing, man? You need to change it to public because right now it's just showing.
Don't stop yelling at me.
I'm not going to yell at you.
Why? All right. And it is public. Boom. Everybody can share that now.
Okay.
How do I get myself a hat? Ooh, Kayla, that's not going to be easy. There's a lot to it.
First, you have to sign a contract.
Yeah. I'm going to need a blood. Send blood. All right. All right.
Whoop,
all right.
There it is. Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's minimize that and count it down. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of your favorite Disney podcast, Behind the Ears Podcast. I am your host, Uncle Danny. Alongside of me, as always, Mr. Chris. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, I am doing great, and I just want to say hello and Happy New Year to everybody. This is our first recording of 2017, and I don't know about you guys, but you know what? I know that for many people, such as myself, I took some time off at the end of the year, use up the rest of my vacation time, spend some time with my family and some friends, do some things. I still didn't get anything done that I really wanted to do. I did not really get a break. I was every day I had something going on, and I am not complaining one bit. We had a great time. It was a nice break for both Uncle Danny and myself. But man, I am glad to get back into the swing of things here for the new year. And, to kind of talk a little bit about the new year, I thought that this would be a good time for us to talk a little bit about our Disney-related New Year's resolutions. Now, these are things that Danny and I hope to accomplish Disney-related in 2017. Now, we may actually throw in a couple things here, such as, what we hope Disney also accomplishes in 2017. But, kind of just hoping that get some plans going. It's the beginning of the year. In fact, today my wife was actually making some dining plans for us for our next trip. We were talking about some, where do we want to go? And obviously, starting off the year right. Anytime you can start your year off by, continuing to plan a Disney vacation, that's always a good thing. So I'll go ahead and kick us off a little bit. So this one, I will go ahead and I will say that this is Disney related, yet somewhat laced with a bit of personal goal and gain, Danny. And that is this. The other day I got on a scale and it said get off. Okay. It just basically said, I don't think so. It just says I give up. And I will admit, for those who know me personally, they probably could tell. They're very kind when they say that I looks like I've lost weight, and I haven't. And I'm a big guy. For those of you not watching on Facebook or YouTube later, I'm a big guy, and I always have been a big guy. But I have even just recently, unfortunately, last year I had some surgery done. Not weight loss related or anything like that, but I had some surgery done, and unfortunately, it really kind of threw off my running training. I did a lot of running prior to that, and it just goofed up. 2016 was not a very good year health wise for me. So today was actually since this is my first day back at work, I started today with a new diet plan, a new exercise plan. And so I want to lose 40 pounds before my next Disney trip.
And when is your next Disney trip?
Sometime in the summer. Okay. And some people are saying, holy crap, that's a lot of weight to lose in just 5 or 6 months. Yeah, you're right, it is. But, the fact of the matter is that I know I can do it because I've done it before, and I've done it, healthily, in a healthy manner, with my doctor's supervision. I'm doing what he has asked me to do and what is done. And I've had, I've already had some blood work done, so I know how everything is baselined and so on and so forth. So I can do that sort of thing. So, and the reason is twofold. One, I really actually do like being active. I like riding my bike. I like jogging. I don't want to say running because I can't really. I don't run. Let's face it. I'm right up there with Baymax. I am not fast, and I walk. I walk and jog, and in fact, the other day on my Facebook page, I posted something about the. And I know I'm trying to be funny about this, and it is kind of. And I'm not making fun of those who run. Okay, I've really not. And my friends who do run, that I love y'all, and they are some of my best sources of support when it comes to that. And I'm not making fun of it. I have to make fun of it myself just because I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, and I know it's going to be an emotional roller coaster type of thing before I get to ride roller coasters. But even on my Facebook page, I posted something in regards to what Jeff Galloway, who's kind of like the physical fitness spokesperson for Run Disney. Even if you do a 50-50 walk jog type of thing in distinct intervals, you can still do a 15-minute mile, which doesn't sound like, I know it's not, it doesn't sound very fast, but one, it's consistent, and two, that's a pace that'll at least keep you ahead of the balloon ladies at a Run Disney race so that you can actually finish it if you actually continue that pace. I'm not kidding. They're called balloon ladies, and they're the ones that go at a 16-minute pace. And basically, if they catch up to you, you get, you basically get pulled in the race. Yeah, kind of, sort of. But no, I don't plan on doing a Run Disney race this year, and I don't even know if next year is in the books. It really kind of depends over the next few months on what's going on in Whitefield. I would love to do that. I'll talk about that as a next sort of Disney resolution. But, as I said, this is kind of a personal thing. And I'm sure that we'll probably see, you guys will probably see some changes in me in a good way over the next several months. It'd be kind of interesting, when you video log things like this and the way that we do it. I'll look back at this, come March, and I'm hoping I see something of a significant difference. Because I've been a lot lighter in a recent past, so I do want to do that for myself, and I know I'm as I said, I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna be hard, and I know it's also gonna be well worth it. But you know what? Anything that's worth it is worth the effort. So that is my first Disney related New Year's resolution. What do you got for us, Danny?
Well, you always have my support. If you ever need motivation, there's a couple of people in here that know that I'll motivate the crap out of anybody. Might not be the best way to motivate you, but I'll motivate you.
I'm sure you'll put your food up my butt if necessary. Hey, get going, Chris. So.
As I'm just eating my cheeseburger. No, there's a lot I really wanted to change this year, and it wasn't necessarily. I don't like the whole New Year's resolution idea because to me it's. I don't know. They're always failed attempts on a majority of people. Obviously, a couple of years back, I gained a lot of weight. I used to be, I was always a bigger guy, but these last couple of years, I stopped caring. I stopped trying to make myself a better person physically and mentally. So not only trying to get back to the gym and eating healthy, maybe, not necessarily running or going to the gym or getting back to lifting weights or anything along the lines of that. More just stop going to fast food restaurants, possibly stop eating at midnight and then going to bed and then working.
Ooh, yeah, I know how that goes.
That's a killer. But I want to better my mind. I want to be more sophisticated. I want to read more. I used to love reading, and I stopped. And the most I read now is the occasional text message. I haven't picked up an actual book in so long. I used to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Like that was, I love newspapers. I don't even watch the news anymore. I want to better myself, not only for myself, but for the community, for the greater good of human beings. We all, there's a lot of, how can I phrase this without being impolite? There's a lot of dumb people out there. And just because it's just lack of them wanting to better themselves. They'll put on the news and they'll watch something and take that word for bond without doing any actual research. And I'm not even talking politics or anything like that. Just, pick up a book and read it. Doesn't matter what it is. You want to read about Moby Dick, you want to read about Disney, you want to read about the stars, whatever it is, just keep your mind active. Because if you don't, you're just, what's the saying? If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
And that's really, and it really is true. If you don't challenge yourself, and, we all get into our ruts. We all get into our mundane, routines of waking up, going to work, seeing family, coming home, eating, going to bed. If you let your mind just sit, you're just wasting it. And the mind is an amazing thing. So basically try to better myself as a person. I've been told throughout my life that I'm a teddy bear. When me and you are on good terms, I'm the nicest guy in the world. But if you're on my bad side, I can be very hostile. I have a tad bit of a short temper. I fly off the handle a little bit. So definitely I would like to better my mind, learn to maybe, as I'm getting older, bite my tongue a little bit, pick my battles a little better. And, become a healthier person, mind and body. The big thing I really want to focus on, and I know it's going to sound corny, besides, my health and everything like that, is I want to focus a lot on this show. We were on a really, really good routine. We really were. We were killing 3 shows a week, and early December rolled around and life happened. Chris was busy, I was busy, work came involved, and there was family. And, I don't want to say that the show took a back seat to anything, because even when we weren't releasing, we were still working on things. But my New Year's resolution for this show on my end is making sure, even if it's a 25-minute, half-hour episode, that we give you guys 3 shows a week. And I'm not going to just throw a show out there just to throw a show out there. You guys can go back and listen to our previous 50 episodes. We've never just thrown a show out there to throw it out there. You know, people don't realize just because it's a 20-minute episode doesn't mean it was 20 minutes of work. You know, there's hours of research, and, you know, me and Chris are pretty knowledgeable inside the Disney world. But at the end of the day, once again, you got to keep your mind running. There's always different ways to find things out. And it's not just going on Google and typing in, top 10 things to do at Disney. You know, there's newspaper articles we research, and we call people. I mean, I can't tell you how I now have Disney as a saved contact because I've been on the phone with their PR reps once a week for the past month. You know, so we as a business, as a show, as an organization, promise to give you the best quality. And if the quality is not there, you're not going to get a show from us.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I have to agree. I mean, the fact is I think that's something that we share. You know, Danny and I have a real good, strong passion to do the absolute best. You know, we're not gonna just push something out just for the sake of pushing out. Yes. You know, it was one of those cases where, you know, we planned on some different things. Like, you know, recently I did some solo shows. We thought it would be best for us to make sure we kept the flow going because life was happening. And you may see some of that happening in a different format in the future because we've already got some things in the works just to mix some things up for our guests on the show. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact of the matter is we both know that we want to start this new year off right. And we want to do it because we really care about those of you who support us, and even those that are listening to us for the very first time. You know, we're just glad you're here, and we want to kick butt, take names when it comes to having fun here on the show. So, absolutely, now, Danny and I share that particular New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and, you know, like Chris said, we want to kick butt. We love doing this. We don't make money off of it. You know, we do this out of our own pocket for the joy of doing it and spreading our knowledge and our insight and our opinions to other people. And, you know, I was off of work for this past 2 weeks. I had gotten hurt, and I was sitting down one day and I was thinking about it. Chris, think about how crazy this is. People tune in to listen to our opinion. I mean, there's 200 plus Disney shows out there. We're one of the newer shows. There are a couple shows that, you know, maybe started a couple months before us, right before, right after us. You know, we're in the basement when it comes to new, you know, longevity inside the Disney podcast sector. But at the same time, people go out of their way. I mean, we're getting more and more follows on Twitter every day. People are actually messaging the show, messaging me and Chris personally about different podcast ideas and how can they do this. So we want to keep having fun. We want to keep putting this out there, but we want to climb that ladder. Don't ever think that just because we do this for fun, we don't want to be the best at it. And it's going to be a long, bumpy road to get there. But me and Chris are in the driver's seats, and we're ready to roll.
Yeah. Oh, and I just want to mention the whole kick butt, take names type of thing. I want our guests to understand something. We have had many great conversations with fellow podcasters, both in the Disney realm and outside. And I certainly didn't mean any disrespect by that particular comment, because, you know, we are very fortunate that people have given us some great advice that have shown us support, even though they have their own shows. You know, we support their shows as well. We have dropped their names many a times here. We've had them on our show. We've been on their show. We have people wanting us to be on their show again. It's an absolute wonderful community to be a part of. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be a part of this. And, you know, the fact is, you know, podcasting is one of those things that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of, takes a lot of time to build relationships as much as anything else. We're committed to doing that sort of thing, and it's been a wonderful experience. I feel like I've come closer to the Disney community as a whole, and I've made some good friends out of it. And outside of Danny, of course, outside of our listeners here, but it's because the Disney podcast community is just that. It is a community, and I think everybody that we've talked to so far, getting opinions and so on, they have been nothing but a support to us. And thank you so much. You all know who we're talking about, and thank you very much for doing that for us. And we surely hope that we can return the favor in 2017.
All right. Now, with all that mushy gushy stuff out of the way, our little personal ideas of weight loss and mind manipulation and all that good stuff, let's jump into a little Disney stuff, the things you all came here to listen about, and that is Disney World. All right. Now that I just got done saying all the positive things, I'm going to throw a little negative thing at you.
What's that?
New Year's resolution for Disney, and what Disney, I believe, should be the number one thing they should be looking at changing. We all know that Pandora is opening summer of 2017, right around the corner. We've seen the land breaking in Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land yesterday, which was January 2nd. We saw that was the last day for Tower of Terror in Disneyland for operation. They finally boarded it all up and moving everything out as we speak. So what is the one thing I am looking for Disney to basically do as a resolution in 2017? Because we have so much amazing stuff coming in. My thing is, figure out what you're going to do. It's a two-parter. So one, I want you to figure out what you're going to do with Epcot. Give us a plan. I don't need a detailed, synopsis of everything. I don't need a blueprint. Just let me know that you realize Epcot is on the chopping block. And what I mean by on the chopping block is it's the next in line to get a refurb, whether it's adding new things, adding other countries, paint it. I just want to know that you recognize that now that Fantasyland got its makeover, you have MGM's getting its makeover, you have Pandora opening to help, Animal Kingdom. Let's now focus on Epcot, and let's make Epcot not necessarily what Walt wanted, because I think we're too far past that, but better for a consumer to really go in there and really absorb everything. And I'm not talking the first timers, because the first timers or the ones that go once every 5 years, they appreciate Epcot in a different way. I'm talking about the locals, the people who work there, and the people like some of our listeners and me and Chris, who frequent Disney a lot, where we have seen the finer details of Epcot. We have seen what Epcot has to offer, and we're now ready to see Epcot expand. That is number one. And Chris, I'll let you touch on that in a second. Number two, figure out what you're doing with the Speedway.
Where's that coming from? Where is that coming from?
We got to do something with it. I can't go there I can't go there. I can't walk by the Speedway and see pictures every day of the Speedway. Listen, Chris is the positive one in the group. I'm the negative Nancy. All right? I'm going to change. It's not Uncle Dan anymore. This is Aunt Negative Nancy. They need to fix it. Do something.
Gosh, he's channeling his inner Doris. Holy crap.
Something. I'm not going to kill it. All I want to know is that was more of a joke. I understand nothing's going to happen with the Speedway. Anybody just piping in real quick? Nothing's going on with the Speedway. I get it. But I really want to focus on Epcot, and I want to see, improvements, and I don't want to just keep hearing the same thing. Chris, I know where you know exactly where I'm going with this.
Sure.
With Ellen's energy, everybody's always going to say, oh, it's Guardian of the Galaxy. If that's what it is, that's fine. But the other day I just saw there was 9 more, what are they, hype balloons?
Yeah,
big balloons. Yeah,
they're like weather balloons, but they in essence they tend to use them to understand like wind currents through the parks and so on and so forth.
And they're also vision balloons, though, right? To see like lines of sight and everything. Can't they track all that stuff? Yeah,
they could do a lot of different things with those types of balloons. Just anything from lines of sight to weather to what may interfere with something or another. I mean, there's a lot of things that they could do with those cool balloons.
Yeah, so I mean, all joking aside with the Speedway, I know nothing's going to happen, but my one thing is I'm hoping that Disney does in the year of 2017. And listen, there's a lot coming out in 2017. There is a lot. Rivers of Lights is coming. It's going to finally open. I promise you, it's going to open. They've got the drones. Some of the drone shows are getting better and better. And I promise you guys, I was watching different people's angles, and the drone shows, they're coming around and they're hiring a lot of people to do it. So they're really ramping that up. There's 2017, there's not going to actually be a lot opening in 2017, but there's a lot of progress coming in 2017. So my one thing is what I'm asking Disney for 2017 is show me the money. Show me what your plan is for Epcot. Chris?
Well, I'll go ahead and say that first off, take into consideration there's new merch that's actually showing up in stores now at Animal Kingdom that actually is related to Rivers of Light, as well as a soundtrack for Rivers of Light that is going to be released. In fact, I know that, if I'm not mistaken, Sorcerer Radio, really cool internet radio station that is all Disney all the time, actually played that particular soundtrack the other day, and unfortunately I missed it. But the thing is like that soundtrack is becoming available, and so that's coming. Even though that they're some of the initial releases was a little underwhelming, but that's going to be coming. I'm sure that Disney is going to rock that out of the park. I'm looking forward to that. I would probably say this. I've been seeing a lot of people just throw out a lot of complaining lately out on social media in regards to Disney, and I really wanted to say something about this, but I'm having a hard time putting words to it. You might even say I'm somewhat speechless about it, which we all know that's pretty hard for me to be speechless. Hey, just calling it like it is. But here's the thing. I know that Disney is going through a lot of changes. I want Disney to go through changes. I mean, I've been going to Disney for nearly 20 years now, and the fact of the matter is I want it to be different. I'd like to do different things. I really can't wait to see what they're going to do at Epcot. They've basically been saying they're going to be making some changes at Epcot. To what extent? Don't know. Yeah. I look forward to it. And Disney, if you're listening, I really, Danny and I could be one of your biggest supporters to that, because, we want to see that kind of good, positive change. With the idea of, Pandora opening up this summer sometime, I may miss it. I'm going to be honest with you. The way that my schedule is, chances are I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be really sad if I end up missing it. But the fact of the matter is,
you're lucky you're going to miss it.
Yeah, with my luck, I'll miss it. I'm not blaming Disney on that. That's just how it goes, right? It gives me something else to look forward to for my next trip. But I mean, I think that personally, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that's going to be really amazing. And I'm not saying that because anybody's, encouraging me to say that. I mean, I think it's going to be really cool, even for those people that don't either haven't seen Avatar or, don't think it's going to be something cool. I think the technology involved is going to be just, jaw-dropping and awe-striking. Awe-striking? Is that actually a phrase? I don't know. I'll use it. So, I mean, that's really cool. But, I think there are some things that I think there are some things that probably need to be taken care of. But the thing is that I think it's more of an image thing right now. You see, here's what I'm getting at. There's a lot of people I think are expecting more out of Disney than I think I think they're expecting more out of Disney than what Disney could provide and do it well. It's like, do you want it right or do you want it right now? And I think a lot of people are looking at the right now bit. And it takes a lot of time, energy, effort, imagination, money in order to do those sorts of things. All I got to say is this. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law just got back from Disney, and I hope to have them on a show coming up here relatively soon. And I really enjoyed talking to him recently at a family gathering about it. And he was telling me how he and his family went to the other park. Kayla knows what I'm talking about. Yes, that's right. They went to Universal. And he was telling me about it. And to kind of paraphrase it, I won't quote it. And I have a feeling he might actually listen to I know that he actually listens to our show too. So the thing of it is that he was rather underwhelmed by what they've done. Although what they have done with Harry Potter and stuff, he said was really good detail and so on. But without Harry Potter, you know, Universal Studios. Oh, I said that. Was underwhelming. I knew I was going to get that from Kayla. Kayla is booing me, and so.
Well, with that said, and Kayla, don't get mad because it's the truth. Stop it. When you look at Universal as a whole, Harry Potter is $100 bill. Okay, it's the top of the bill chain. It's the top of the food chain. Nowhere around the world can top Harry Potter World right now. It's the most technologically advanced, best architecture. It's by far 110% the best park on the face of the earth right now, theme park wise. The rest of Universal is the dollar bill. It had its heyday. There's a lot of people visit it. A lot of people use dollar bills. It serves its purpose. But that's all it does. Unless you enjoy 3D rides, and it's your typical sit in a car, toss you around, spray some water on you, then if you enjoy that, Universal's a great thing. But in the grand scheme of things, now that's not saying Universal's bad. There was some fantastic food. There was some food restaurants. Yeah, what other type of restaurants are there? There was some fantastic food options inside Universal. There was some very cool rides. The Mummy was fantastic. But at the end of the day, you could bang out both those parks in a day. Now, with that being said, like I said, Kayla, don't get mad. That's just my personal opinion. But Harry Potter World knocks it out of the park. It is like I'm a Disney fanatic. You all know this. We wouldn't be doing this if we weren't Disney fans. And I'm not one of those people that will just kill Universal for no reason because it's, the redheaded stepchild. I don't view it as the redheaded stepchild. I think it's a fantastic secondary option for Disney. I think it's a fantastic option. I'm just going to see if I can get it to count down. It serves its purpose. But I do understand why people would be underwhelmed by it. Now, Caleb, look at it this way. Or any other fans of Universal, they're not on the same pedestal. So if you are a frequent Disney traveler, you expect certain things. And when you go to Universal, you don't always get them. Now, I want to see what Disney does because Disney has a lot of catching up to do when it comes to Harry Potter World. So, right now the ball is in, Epcot's corner. You guys have control over that market. Nobody's touching that market right now. And this is not saying that Disney doesn't do things wrong. I go back 3 episodes, What Grinds My Gears by me and Chris. You'll hear us. We're not saying that Disney does nothing wrong. There's a lot that Disney does wrong. So, Chris, before I lose our audience.
Well, I'll just chime in here. I'll reel it back in. The thing of it is that this is not a bashing time. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I really would like to see some different things going on. But at the same time, I think I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these new things. At the same time, I will tell you that we're already planning on doing some things that we've already done. For example, we're actually we're staying at the. I'm hoping I got to get this right. the Boulder Ridge Villas, which used to be formerly the Wilderness Lodge Villas.
Mm.
We're staying there for the first time in a long time for our trip. And we are actually also staying at the Grand Floridian Villas for the first time. Something that I said that I don't know if I would ever do. And I'm doing it. That's right. I'm taking one for the team. No, actually, I'm looking forward. I'm actually doing that.
I didn't know that. I knew you were staying over at Wilderness. I didn't know you went to Grand Floridian too.
Yeah, we actually were able to get a, and it's kind of a special treat for us. We've never done it, and we've always wanted to do it. And we just happen to have enough points without borrowing. And we're looking forward to it. I mean,
that's awesome.
I know. I keep on saying to myself, I don't know if I would ever want to do it. Well, now I'm going to try it because I can't say anything about it unless I actually try it, right? So I mean, we're going to go ahead and give it a try, and I will tell you, and I'm not necessarily plugging DVC. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, I am. The fact of the matter is that I would not be able to afford it unless I was a DVC member.
Oh God, yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, seriously. Even I'll tell you right now. Here's the thing. This is the funny part. I got my dues billed today for DVC for the year. Yeah, and I knew it was my dues were going to go up, and I had an idea of what they were going to be. But here's the deal. My dues are the equivalent to like 2 nights at the Grand Floridian. That's it. And so I'm going to go ahead. I mean, it's a little on the higher side, but here's the deal. I'm also spending what is it? It's either 3 or 4 nights in a one bedroom studio. And so the fact of the matter is that it's almost like, I know how much that's worth.
Yeah.
And so, I wouldn't be able to do this kind of vacation unless I was a DVC member. And I still have points left over, which I will use for next summer's extravaganza. So I do think that DVC has a lot of value in it. So we're going to try something different. So I guess you could even call that. You could do that. Call that one of my New Year's resolutions, to try something different. And that's one of the best parts about this, is that if you go to Disney, try something different. Try something you haven't done. Do try the classics. Have a blast with the classics. Do something you've never done before. And it's one of the best things you can do. You can't complain about it unless you've actually tried it. That's my opinion. Okay, it's just all I have to say. You may not like something. That's fine. My son, you know what? He finally, a couple of years ago, got him on Tower of Terror. He did not like it. Now he knows. So now we know he does not like Tower of Terror. He does not like that feeling of dropping. I do. So it's just one of those things. Like example, one of my resolutions I also want to do is I want to go, and I would really like to actually try some of the tequila at the tequila bar in Mexico.
Did you see how long the line was on New Year's Eve for that?
I did not see how long the New Year's Eve line was, but just last summer. So I mean, it was ridiculous, and I'm not even talking about the whole margarita stuff in this other. I'm talking, actually a shot of real tequila, not the stuff what is it, the lick, slam, suck type of thing. I don't know. This is some really good, good stuff. I'll be honest with you. The only time I ever actually consume alcoholic beverages is at Epcot, ever. Period. Well, no, I can't say ever, because I did try some moonshine the other day.
Oh.
That was actually acquired during last year's road trip on the way home, where part of our members of our caravan actually found some really good moonshine in Tennessee. I have some left. You want to try some? I'm like, sure. Yeah, I probably had less than an ounce of that stuff, and Chris's face turned beet red. Let's just put it that way. Chris doesn't drink, and it shows. So I am a cheap date. So no, this was one of those things. But I will say that one of the other things I would like to make a resolution on is that I'm trying to use more discretion of my Disney related social media experiences. I'm trying to not feel compelled to answer every person that says something that says something that I won't say disagree with, but I'm trying to watch what I say and how I say it, because I realize I am slightly opinionated.
This is hard. This is a hard one for Chris. I promise you guys, this one's a hard one for him.
Because it's like, I mean, I've had people argue with me on social media, and I know I have to stop it. And I'm not trying to get into. I don't try to get into arguments with people. I really don't. And but at the same time, I know there's a lot of miscommunication, misinformation out there, and I think one of the things that I have a big problem with is people passing around incorrect information. As an example, there were people talking about being able to ride in the front car of the monorails now, and we all know that's not going to happen. Not going to happen again. But then you have people saying, "Well, I just saw somebody do it last week or last month," or whatever. And I'm like, I had basically, while I did comment, I actually had to rewrite what I wanted to say like 3 times. And I realized there is a character trait that I need to kind of chill out a little bit. I want to basically use, between our blog, my personal blog, and the show as a way to pass along the best possible information to people, to help them plan their trip, to get the best information possible, the most accurate information possible. Because, like as Danny said earlier, we do spend a lot of time researching. Now, every once in a while, we're going to screw up. We're going to make a mistake, and we'll be the first people to come back and say, "You know what? We goofed. We're sorry. This is what it really is." And we appreciate everybody's understanding on that. But I'm going to reserve those types of things to help people. Now, it's not that I don't want to help people on social media. Let's make sure that there's an understanding. It's just that I need to make sure I focus energy on being more positive and being able to help people in that particular manner. I hope you guys understand what I'm getting at. Hey, as I said, Disney is a community, and I certainly don't want to alienate anybody. But sometimes you need to stop bad information just because it perpetuates poorly. I mean, case in point, how many people thought that the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios was also going to be shut down? Danny has his hands up. Do I see hands up over there? Yep, I see hands over there, over there, over there, over there. You get my point. It's bad information. It was never true. And, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you have to, it's this really goofy kind of thing. Anyway,
to touch on that real quick, it is really so much like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I've been trying to harness that a little bit better because one of our most viewed posts on Facebook was an article that I had written about another website that basically all they do, it's Disney affiliated. I'm not going to say their name. Basically, they'll throw things in a tagline on the top to catch your attention, and they know that's all what people read. They read that first sentence and they take it for bond and they run around with it. And that is a very, very dangerous thing to do in media. And that's where we've really what's the word I'm looking for? We've gotten ourselves into trouble with that because a consumer will read whatever they want to read, and when you're only giving them few choice words, it makes it look like a lot worse. Just like this website was a Disney World website that said Tower of Terror to become Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, this is basically when they announced it. This show was brand new. I wasn't even on iTunes yet. I was alone on SoundCloud, and I ripped it apart. And I literally had to delete the episode and put out an apology because after I recorded it, I read the article and realized that I just made a total fool of myself. And we fixed our errors, and that's just basing off what Chris said. We're not afraid to tell you we made a mistake. But as this show has grown and me and Chris has grown together, we've done our due diligence. Just because I read something, we don't immediately come on and talk about it. But let's get back to the original point. I think what I would like to do, and this might come into very close, it might come, is I've only stayed at one value resort, and it was music, and this was back in the 90s. I've never since then, solo or with family or whatever the case is, ever stayed at a value resort. I was lucky enough where I didn't have to. There's nothing wrong with
it. Because I thought you actually were the king of value resorts.
Moderates, baby.
Okay, that's cool. I'm groovy.
I love we can get into it. Riverside, Port Orleans, those are my Caribbean Beach. Those are my jams. Love those places. But, I'm not, I understand the point of value resorts. Here's the reason why I've never liked to stay at them. And, it has nothing to do with the price. Because the price, it's still a clean hotel. It's not dirty. It's not why. It's the distance. The last time I was there, I took a bus ride just to see what it was like. Because you're talking about the price doubles every night when you stay at value compared to moderate, and then it basically almost triples when you want to stay at deluxe. But if I was paying $220 a night at Riverside, which is reasonable, but I can stay. Count out Art of Animation, I can stay at Pop Century for $115 a night. You stay for 5-6 days, you're talking about $500-600 that you can save. So the reason I didn't like to say this is I took the bus ride and I wanted to see what it was like, and door to door took me 32 minutes.
Okay.
And it's not a one-time thing. I've done it numerous times on that trip to see what it was like, and that was my big thing. I didn't want to sit on a bus for a half hour to get to the park, possibly even longer at night when you have more people trying to cram on the buses. And that was my big gripe. But as I've gotten older and, my money has changed a little bit, different between the show and saving for a house and everything, and still wanting to go to Disney, I plan on trying a value resort and seeing how it goes. That is my one big New Year's resolution for Disney.
Well, I could definitely see that. And, going along with the transportation bit, it's one of the things that a lot of people, they always question about the buses. And I will tell you this right now, that's kind of like a whole different show to talk about transportations. I guarantee we will talk about that in a future episode. I can say, just from my experience, since I've done value and moderate and deluxe resorts, there's always going to be the closest park. There's always going to be the furthest park. And the idea is to try to find something that fits into your plans. Like I'll give you a great example. Old Key West, I'll tell you right now, fabulous resort first and foremost, and not just because it's a DVC resort, but also because I think it has one of the more centrally located locations. And it's when it comes to the transportation to all the different types, all the different parks, it's almost, I like to say it's equidistant, because it's like if you do it right, you can get to Epcot in 6 minutes. But obviously Magic Kingdom, it's a little bit longer. Animal Kingdom, a little bit longer. Studios, a little bit longer. But the thing of it is that every resort has its longest time. Everyone has its shortest time. It's one of those things. Sometimes it just doesn't. You just got to plan for it. But I know exactly what you're talking about. We tend to not stay at values more than a night, maybe two. we tend to switch up our resorts. We tend to, mix them up so we can try different resorts. The only value most of the values are pretty much the same, save for art of animation, like you said. We really wanted to do that again, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, just because it's it's actually cheaper for us to stay at French Quarter, which is a fabulous resort.
Oh, one of my favorite.
It is. It really is. And the whole New Orleans type motif is absolutely fabulous. Anyway, I'll stop right there because I know I'm going to go off in a tangent, especially especially something like I'm going to go from talking about French Quarter to talking about Princess and the Frog and about how I watched Princess and the Frog and made homemade jambalaya at the same time this past weekend.
And then it's me yelling about the Speedway.
Yeah, and it's you yelling about the Speedway. So, and all I have to say is homemade jambalaya is absolutely awesome. So anyway, I'm going to give a shout out to Stephanie. I am so glad you booked your flights. I know that we will be talking shortly about that. In fact, Steph, I know I'm talking and this is going to be recorded and everything else like that. I've got some news for you that I want to give you a name to help you out with something as well. I'll tell you more a little bit off the air. Anyway, so Danny, there's one more thing I want to do, and it's Disney related.
Good, I got one more too. You go first.
Okay, good. And then I'm gonna make this quick, and then I'm gonna be done with this. I want to read one Disney related book a month in the year of 2017. And actually sit back, read the whole book, not just skim through it. Now, granted, I am not necessarily talking about new books. I have several books. I have several books by Marty Sklar, Disney Imagineers, Lee Cockrell, and there's a few that I also want to get at the same time. Now, a lot of these books I consider either inspiring or things that can help with I'll call it personal advancement, personal growth, but also some for entertainment as well. And Lynn's saying, hey, what about the Mr. Chris Book Club? I like that idea. The Mr. Chris Book Club, sponsored by Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets.
There it goes. It was coming. 48 minutes.
Oh, gosh, hard it was to not do that. I am not making a New Year's resolution to cut out my addiction to Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. I am so sorry. That will not happen here. But yes, I do want to read a book. And I've got I'm looking at I've actually rearranged my bookshelf over here. I've actually got Q already. I actually have some of my Amazon cart already. And I also, want to read Disney by the Numbers by Tony Casanova. Kayla said she loves that book. She won it from Tony's giveaway from being on our show. Go give that book a try. But yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to read a Disney book a month. I think I just need to sit back, and that's one of those things you just kind of have to make time for it. And party on.
All right.
Your last one. And your last one.
I told you I wanted to read more, so I'm right in line with that.
Cool. All right, Mr. Chris's book club. It is.
My last thing is next time I go to Disney, whether it be in March or special on-site show or next year, 5-year, whatever I go, it will be in 2017. I promise you. But I want to. How can I say this? I want to stop and smell the roses a little bit while I'm down there.
Okay.
I don't want it to be all, we have, ADRs here, or our fast passes are running out here, or I'm on the app on my phone and being like, oh my goodness, for some reason Peter Pan's flight is a 20-minute wait. I need to sprint over there. I want to be able to walk down Main Street and really just enjoy the scenery. Take in the smells, take in the ambiance, as creepy as it may sound, people watch a little bit, live vicariously through someone else's eyes or their children's eyes and see how different people, really appreciate the things that Disney does and appreciate the finer details that you might have noticed, but you never really took the time to notice, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's one thing to look at all the windows on Main Street and be like, oh, look at all the names. That's nifty. There's a lot to it. And I would love to just really just enjoy it and, take a break from the hustle and bustle. We have a hustle and bustle in our everyday life all the time. It would be nice to just have a moment to really just enjoy everything that Disney has to offer.
I can see that. And, the thing is that I think a lot of people go to Disney, and especially if they don't go often, they try to just totally park storm. And I will admit, my family and I used to do that too all the time. Park storm. Get there at rope drop. You'll leave when they kick you out of the park. And, that type of thing. You just keep going, and you don't stop. And do the simple things like, read the windows up and down Main Street. And even more so, not just read the windows up and down Main Street, talk to a cast member about who some of those people are. And by the way, if cast members don't know, find a different cast member. But, take the time to see that. Take the time to, watch a show, be a part of Streetmosphere, to really just, as you said, people watching. I don't think that's creepy at all. Because I think it's really kind of funny to I won't say funny. It's fun to watch people do Disney and how they do Disney. In the sense of, my wife and I would always kind of make comments about, if you got a young child in a stroller, and we would kind of joke around and say, do you remember when we had a deal at the stroller? Yeah, I'm so glad we don't have to do that anymore. But but at the same time, we're like, we know that was what it was like, and we have some good memories. We have great memories of those types of things. Destroying a stroller at Walt Disney World, that was fun. And like Lynn is saying, to see the excitement in other people's eyes, absolutely. I mean, we all still get excited when we see characters. When we go and see Mickey or Goofy or Donald, we always, and like, Goofy has proposed to my daughter more than one time. And it's funny each time. It's absolutely hilarious, and my daughter just loves it. That type of thing. The conversations that my wife has with Minnie is just second to none. It's just one of those things. But just to enjoy it, sometimes we're in such a big hurry. People say, "Well, I didn't have a good time. I went on some rides and that was it." But I'm like to myself, you missed a lot of it. You missed some of the detail. For me, like, I like to take pictures, and more so night photography. And, the interesting part about night photography is that you have to stop and really look at what you're doing. And when you stop and really look at what you're doing, not just afterwards when I'm looking at the pictures and doing post-processing, but to really stop and see what I'm looking at, I'm like, wow, go to Tomorrowland. Sit there at the entrance to Tomorrowland coming over from the hub and just look at the colors of everything that's around. Look around and really, just kind of see how it is. Watch Astro Orbiter spin around in a circle. It's just really kind of cool. Do Jungle Cruise at night. Do Monsters Inc. laugh floor right before they close. Kayla just mentioned the smells. Oh my gosh, yes, everything from between popcorn, turkey legs, to the smells at the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
we all know those smells. I don't have to say it. I don't have to describe it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So this is one of those things. So. Right. Well, I'll tell you what, Danny, I know that we are approaching the limit very quickly from what Be Live has available to us. So I think we need to wrap this one up.
I couldn't agree more. So once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook at Behind the Ears Podcast, Twitter at Behind the Ears PC, and Instagram at Behind the Ears Podcast. Also, this is the big one. Do not, if you have not already, please rate and review the show on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you guys can always find our archive shows. For whatever reason, if you can't find them anywhere else, you can always find them on YouTube. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. This has been another fantastic episode here on Behind the Ears Podcast. I thank you all for tuning in, and I am glad to be back on schedule. So I am Uncle Danny, and I am signing out.
And I'm Mr. Kress. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us tonight. And you know what? Like Danny said, I'm really glad to be back, and we're starting off the new year right. And we hope to hear from you soon. But until then, have a magical day. Take care, everybody. Good night. Okay, Dad.